Good morning. I'm so sorry I'm late. I was just running a little late, it happens. How is everyone? Good morning. Good morning, my loves, my children. Is that what they call them? Yes, I'm here. Okay, great. Let me just get a little organized here. Yes, I'm live. Okay, we're all gonna just come filing in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. Welcome. Yes, welcome, young and old, and all that good stuff. Anyway, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your understanding. I've been very busy the last couple weeks. I have been writing books. Yes, you should write books. I'm currently working on two books. One is called Broke Aristocrats, How to Thrive on a Budget. And my co-author is Chuck Dransfield. He and I will be getting together in April, and we'll be going over. We have a nice book outline, and he's going to be my artist. So that is something I've been working on. The other thing, of course, I've been working on is the book on heart-centered remote viewing, which, as many of you know, if you're students of mine, is based on Tantra and Bon, or the Vajrayana branch of Tibetan Buddhism, which predates Buddhism. So I'm writing a book about that, along with a manual for the students. The students get my lecture notes every week, and feel free, if you are a student, let me know if you're in the description of the videos, if you're able to see my lecture notes, if you are a member, and if that works for you. I hope it does. Anyway, great to see you all. We have a new fairy in the house, and every time we give birth to a fairy, we want to ring a bell. Congratulations to GMAC. And of course, we always want to know, are you more fairy or angel? I am a little mischievous, so I think I tend to be a little bit more on the fairy side. You know, I like to eat a lot. I love candy. This is definitely a fairy thing. I'm childlike and I'm a bit mischievous. Angels, they do good. I try to do good, but it's kind of difficult. I also want to announce that we have a Book of the Month Club. Yay to us. It's been going on for about 2.5 years. It was started by Chuck Dransfield and myself because he and I love a good book. Anyway, this month we want to give a special shout out to the amazing Michelle Rose LaRoche. Michelle Rose LaRose, she won our Book of the Month club. We picked her for March. If you have written a book and you would like to appear as an independent writer on our TV show, Taco Tuesdays with Chuck Dransfield, then please send your book to care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson at 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And maybe your book will appear on Taco Tuesdays. But anyway, the book is The Wavelength of Pure Intention. And she talks, the reason I want her on is because she's talking about stuff that is the area we work in as remote viewers, which is how to get yourself into trance and how to get yourself on a wavelength, whether you're trying to get on the wavelength of the target that you're trying to make contact with. You've got to get into their wavelengths. Here, she goes into what do you want to accomplish, and then getting into the wavelength, and then sending out that vibration in order to achieve. Her second book is called Equality, and that's about, I think, mostly protecting ourselves when we do get into this beautiful wavelength of love and pure intention, and you're putting stuff out and you're getting great stuff done. We certainly want to help that, because we believe here, as part of our philosophy at the Oracle of Whimsy, that you were put on this earth because it's a playground, that Hashem, God, creates heaven on good and evil, and that we encourage people to choose life and to view it as a playground and to create heaven on earth. So you're here to be happy and create heaven on earth, and to fulfill your part in making the world heaven on earth. So we believe that. And so the wavelength is aligned with the philosophies of the channel. The book is meant to teach you the importance of the energy frequency of love. This love frequency is innate in the human experience because we're all ultimately a part of the divine spark, right? So it's available through Kindle on Amazon, both copies. And then hard copy, I think you have to actually go to the press, which is Solace in Me, www.solaceinme.com if you want to get a hard copy. But if you're okay reading a Kindle version, you can get it. Yes, I will. Hold on. There it is. Yeah, so you can just, if you want, I know many of you, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't spell that right. www dot. Some people want to have a hard copy book. I get that. So if you do, you can just go to www.solace and me and get a hard copy. If you're okay with Kindle and you like reading from a Kindle, then you can get the Kindle version on Amazon. The Wavelength of Pure Intention by the amazing Michelle Rosler. I can't wait. This is a really great opportunity for me to also learn how to hone my skills there. Okay, a next announcement. I want to oh, that was the wrong charity. This is a charity helping Ukraine. I guess we can keep that one if you guys want to. I was going to do the water charity, but instead I wound up accidentally helping Ukraine. You know what? There's no such thing as accidents. Speaking of which, we can go right into the remotes where we talked about the fact that Russia was bankrupted and that had NATO gone in, NATO should have gone in. NATO should go in. The United States should have gone in. To Russia when it was weak. I don't think it's completely public information just how broke Russia is. So we can definitely talk about that. But in the current trajectory, most experts don't think that Zelinsky can now win because they're talking about turning off satellites, denying him HIMARS rockets or certain types of rockets that are necessary. So, we can talk about that too. I'm kind of disgusted that Europe didn't do more to protect Ukraine, that they simply sat on the sidelines and gave the bare minimum because they didn't want to go out all out war. And so it was this passive aggressive way of fighting Russia without openly fighting Russia. And I have, I don't know, we can talk about that if you guys want to. I just want to go turn the camera around briefly and give a shout out to everybody. This is our brunch. We get together every Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Of course, we have a daylight savings time. So welcome to spring. March 9th, I guess, is coming in a little early. So I know many of you are tired. Tell us where you're coming from. Be sure and say hi to the person next to you. This is a virtual table. Like I said, we welcome everyone from the four corners of the world to hang out with us this brunch. I myself am having my regular, that's Pete's coffee with some warmed milk and cinnamon and a little bit of maple syrup. It does a body good. And of course, some nice ice water. I'll probably break my fast with a green smoothie from Protein and Greens by Paradise. Yes. I'll put some berries in there, maybe some flax and walnuts, some oat milk, almond milk, whip it all up and drink it. And then I'm I've got my 24 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't work for the company, but I promote it just because I believe in the product. And yeah, so that's my morning smoothie. Might take a tablespoon of fish oil, pop a DHEA, maybe some multivitamins from Thorne Research for Women, and then go for a walk and see some nature. That's my thing. Hi, Yvette Fish. Good to see you here. Welcome, Jennifer Hoffman. Where are you guys coming from? Hi, Joel Tilson. Joel Tilson is our floor director. He is walking the floor with the virtual mic, making sure that everyone's questions are seen and heard and helping me see them. Thank you, Joel, for your commitment to the show today. Trump jettisons Musk. I don't really know what that means, but I can't imagine getting rid of Musk. Is very good at manipulating people. You should, I'm sorry, you should look at the X right now. Oh, woe is me. I'm only trying to do good, and they're kicking me out of Dodgy. Oh, whoa. It's just like, oh, come on, give me a break. Give a shout out to the amazing Debbie Brady, future shaper. She is here to help assist you with all your creative ambitions. She is a creative director, designer, and talent scout for YouTube and Facebook. Looking for new and exciting innovators and talent. Go to Debbie Brady, future shaper. Jennifer Hoffman, hello. Hello, Cynthia Vale. Thank you for your membership and your love. Much appreciated. Jennifer Hoffman, Sneed, hello. Joel says, what does Trump from Zelinsky to restart what will it take for Trump you know what? Trump is an egomaniac, and to be publicly humiliated like that by Zelinsky, I don't know, given the fact that Elon Musk is strongly attacking Zelinsky, which leads me to think that there's Russian money involved. So if there's Russian money involved, or if Elon Musk took crypto advances from Russian assets, which is what we suspect, with his little projects to save Tesla and everything else. This would also explain why the Securities and Exchange Commission wants to have a little talk with Mr. Musk. It's not just about shorting Dodgy. He did more than that. He took out loans, and then he doesn't want to tell people who gave him the loans. He took out loans for Tesla. He took out loans for X, Twitter. So when you see a major political shift like the one that we are seeing with Trump and his main advisor, who appears to be Elon Musk with Dodgy, and you see the fact that Elon Musk is avoiding getting a loan with the SEC to answer basic questions like, where did you get your seed money? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to start thinking, okay, there's a pattern forming. And then when we go into seed money, we see the seed money was most likely crypto that they were able to give to Elon through some type of wallet that was not associated with Mr. Musk. So when you go back to the remote views that I was asked to do a couple of years ago, I saw lights, energetic lights that were going to that was communicating with the server at the Trump Tower. And that then it was going to various different types of banks, and it appeared to be a type of money form when I did these remotes. And then I saw these lights were going back and forth to places like South America as a remote viewer. So I had lights going off to South America from this server, Trump, then from Trump to this so it appeared as a remote viewer like the Trump server was communicating with the Russians and then passing this data on to other servers in some type of a bank or some type of account, both in the US and outside the US in areas like South America. So we're now 5, 6 years later, 7 years later. What do we think was going on? It could have been that it was transferring the numbers of the crypto accounts. And then those numbers were then passed on from that server to various different accounts that had to do with Russian laundered money in places like Central and South America, which would be Brazil, Venezuela, places that were being toppled because of money like crypto that was coming in from Russia and being used to dismantle those governments, which then led to people fleeing to the north and created the crisis in the United States. But now we backtrack as remote viewers. What the hell was going on with the lights? For those of you who've been here for a few years. And I think that that's what we were looking at. We were looking at numbers or codes or information coming in about crypto accounts. Now, this brings us back to where we're at in the 21st century. Debbie says, who's old? Speaking of which, I got to make an appointment with my hairdresser. Ay, boy, I see how gray I've gotten. Ay, boy. I think I'm beautiful for 61. This is my birthday month, March 22nd. So I'm feeling 62. I'm feeling pretty. I'm feeling pretty at 62, actually. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying my senior years very much. Yeah, so we can talk about this, but basically, if you're asking me as a remote viewer what this looks like, we're looking at a crypto cycle where Elon is getting money through some of these accounts that he's hiding from the SEC, and then that money is going into fueling this candidate who's pro-Russian. And that's, why we're going to be seeing this policy shift. Now, in terms of the Abraham Accords, if you're talking about the Abraham Accords, if you're talking about MBS, if you're talking about UAE, they are neutral regarding the Ukraine war. They've taken a neutral stance because Russia may be part of a future partner with the Abraham Accords. I can't imagine how this would work. I'm sorry. I just, in case there are any Israelis watching, how is this going to work? That we are going to partner with the person that committed a pogrom on October 7th. So I don't see how this is going to work. It's not going to work. So we've talked about the fact that there is something which is pure math, right? Where we just look at the math and we say, okay, what do we have to do to secure the safety of the planet? And you have two arguments. You have me, people like me, and we're saying that you have phase 1, you get to cease fire. Phase 2, you exchange the hostages and you lure Hamas to a host country. Lure them with money, lure any way you can get them the hell out of there, you get them out of there. And then 3, you engage in a rebuild that ultimately gives the power to the Gazan people as allies, creating allies of Israel, Egypt, and the AA. We turn them into allies. We protect them from invasion, not to occupy, but protect them so that they don't get invaded by Russia. or excuse me, Iran again, which is what happened. And you give people hope, you give people a life, you give people hope. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing something a little scary. I'm sorry, you guys have seen the 5 phases, right? What we're seeing right now is kind of scary because um, it contradicts the data, right? If the data says that phase 4 is that you've got to isolate Putin, and phase 5 is you have to dismantle Iranian leadership if you want to reduce the number of dead, then if that's what the war games, if that's what Grok, if that's what Chat GPT, if that's what all of the computers say when you go through war games and when you do game theory for 48 hours and you run yourself through a series of, you put yourself through a series of games to find out, I'll try and make it, I know you're not able to see it. You put yourself through a series of games where you try to determine what's going to happen next. What's this person going to do? Now, this is a really good game to play if you're a remote viewer, because when you're a remote viewer, well, I'm going to be Putin. I am Putin, right? I am that, right? This is Vajrayana Buddhist way of doing, if you're channeling a deity, I am that, right? So we try to teach our students to be safe, but at the same time, you are that. You are Putin. What are you going to do? You're in the war game. You're Netanyahu. What are you going to do? You're in the war game. You're Trump. What are you going to do? You're in the war game. And so you embody the target. Now, how long can the average person be in an energetic state like that? How long can I lock on a target? Honestly, I'll be on 5 to 7 minutes. Maybe. When I go down, it's like, oh my God, I'm really on it. I'm gnawing on that bone and I'm getting all this information. But then eventually I exhaust and I find myself coming up from trance. I cannot, now I will take breaks and I will write down what my impressions were as a remote viewer. And then I might go and have some cookies and milk, because remote viewers crave sugar after they'll do a remote. They burn a lot of, we've done studies on brain activity. If you are one of my students and you're meditating and remote viewing, and then you're running for the Ben and Jerry's, Cherry Garcia, one of my students has to have Cherry Garcia, whatever works for you. It's just because you're going to get a dip. Traditionally, they will get a dip in their blood sugar. This is why the oracle in Tibet, they massage his feet and they give him sweet tea, because you'll get this drop. But anyway, so number one is you look objectively at the situation. You're not emotionally attached. You're just looking objectively. You got to get to ceasefire. You've got to exchange the hostages. You've got to lure Hamas out. You've got to adopt a peace proposal that, is going to stop the violence. But in terms of future after that, you've got to isolate and remove Putin and dismantle Iranian leadership, because if you don't, they'll do it again, because, it's like the lion ate your face, right? He's the lion and the lion eats your face, and there's not really a lot you can do about it, so other than don't, all the remote viewers are sharing what their snack is when they remote view at night. That's pretty funny. Peanut butter parfait. Yummy. Yeah. So anybody else do remote viewing and meditation work, and then afterwards, or if you're talking about satsang at a Hindu monastery in India where we do mantras and meditation, and then afterwards we pass out sweets and chai, right? Or something to eat, right? Because again, poof, it takes energy. It takes actually a great deal of mental energy to be able to do this. Okay, so that's all I have for today on that in terms of my concerns is that, to take away from the fact that when you look at the war games, we're supposed to be isolating and removing Putin. Certainly, if you're an Israeli or you're an American and you support the West, there's no logical or rational reason why you would be assisting Putin given objective reality other than to make it a profit at the Abraham Accords, which is fine. I think that Abraham Accords is a great idea. I just don't think Putin is the person to be negotiating for Russia, particularly if Russia is on its knees. If Russia is on its knees and you isolate Putin, then they'll agree to anything, which actually gives you more leverage with the Abraham Accords. Do you see what I'm saying? So making a deal with him is not good for the Abraham Accords. And it's not good for Israel because he's not a reliable partner. Better he should be taken out and Russia gets a partner that wants to work with the US so that they can be a part of the Abraham Accords, not feel like we're having our arm twisted by somebody who instigated October 7th. Yeah. And then, in terms of the SEC's investigation on Mr. Musk, as I had said in previous remotes, it looked like he had been shorting Dodgy and, by pumping the coin and then shorting it. And then he transferred the coin into Bitcoin and then from Bitcoin into foreign currencies. So that was what the SEC wanted to talk to him about, that and his foreign investments. We see the changes that in terms of policies between this president and the previous administration, who our allies have been in the past, what our contracts are, and we have to ask ourselves what is going on with this presidency. The last thing I would say is that it is very, very likely that Canada is going to sue the United States in international court. And we're going to see some kind of filing coming in from Trudeau because of violations of the North American trade agreements and other agreements. I think that Mexico will piggyback with that, and I'm seeing Macron possibly joining in. So as a result of these tariffs that Trump is threatening, there will be consequences. And the consequences are that I'm going to sue you. I made a deal with you. You got certain benefits under the North American trade agreement, under these various trade agreements with Canada, and then you changed the contract by adding these tariffs. Therefore, I'm suing you. And so we can expect to see lawsuits coming in. You see this, you don't get to do whatever you like. You don't get to do whatever you like and just throw crazy tariffs at people because you don't like their personality. Because when you do that and then you attempt to override existing contracts we have with those countries, we're going to get sued. And that's precisely what it looks like when you go into the remote. And specifically, it looks like Trudeau filing legal actions against the United States for violating contracts with Canada. You guys want to open the floor and talk about it? Is anybody surprised that it got to this point? Breach of contract, that's correct. Trudeau is taking legal action that the U.S. is in breach of contract. That's correct. That is what the data shows me as a remote viewer. I just, you don't get to do whatever you like. Yeah, and the Bitcoin, now Trump is talking about taking US money from our treasury and investing it into crypto. So what are they talking about? A pump and dump? So now, in addition to everything else, they take our money, they put it into, it's a great thing, Bitcoin, right? Then Elon Musk, who is the majority shareholder of Bitcoin, can then pull his money out and bankrupt the United States. Isn't that a great idea? Because of pumping and dumping. So we now have Trump talking about the US getting involved, using our money to invest in crypto. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the average American knows what's happening? Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Not surprised. Kelly Bellinger, no frickin' crypto BS. Sabrina says scam. GH says that was the original plan, cryptocurrency. What happened to Venezuela's currency? Discuss while I drink my coffee. Open the discussion with the amazing Joel Tilson. He knows everything, which is how he became the director of the show. Joel, what happened to Venezuelan currency? How was cryptocurrency used during the fall of Venezuela? L'chaim, everyone. Discuss. Oy vavoy, what a pickle we got ourselves in. So I think, yes, exactly. So everybody pulled, when Venezuela's dollar was crashing, everybody went into Bitcoin and they used Bitcoin to buy food. So they were using Bitcoin because their money collapsed. So basically, crypto collapsed the economy of Venezuela. So what do we have here? We have Venezuela 2.0, right? Madeira was put in by Russia, right? So I think now what we will do, how's my hair doing? Yeah, it's okay. I think that what we should do is we've got plenty of people here. Would you guys like me to do the empath prayer and then we'll give a collective reading to everyone? And then after that, we can do some blitzes. Would you guys like that? Yeah, you want to get a reading? Yeah, that's so true. Okay, so if there's anyone you know that you would like us to pray for, if you'd like us to pray for you or to pray for somebody that you love, please include them in the empath prayer, and we will send a special prayer out, a special shout out prayer to those people who need to receive a healing at this time. If you enjoy today's readings, please think about donating to the charity. Um, Anything else I need to say? I think that's it. And yeah, so we will go ahead, and since we want to just focus, we're praying for those who need healing at this time. Oh, swelling in the ears down today. Good. I hope, did you use olive oil, garlic, and mullein? I hope so. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll do the empath prayer, and we will pray for those who need healing at this time. Hi, Deborah. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those of you who are requesting healings at this time, we pray that you receive a healing in mind, body, and spirit, that you be healed, and that you know you are loved. And together we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. L'chaim, l'chaim. All right, bubbalas. Let's do it. Let's see what your week looks like. Let's see what the collective energy looks like. We're getting closer to something intense happening. We're fighting each other's wills. Some people want to go this way. Some people want to go that way. There's this feeling of, being focused, stay the course. What do we want to achieve in our lives? Oh, thank God, Kay is off the chemo. Yes, we've been sending a lot of prayers your way, Kay. I'm so glad. Thank God. Baruch Hashem. Thank God. All right. I'll be back in Israel in April after Passover. If anybody wants to hang with me, any of the Israeli crowds are here. I'll be in Haifa and a couple of other places. Okay, where you are at right now, the base of the matter is this is a sober time for you, temperance. So I've been getting a lot of work done, like I'm writing that book on healthy living. Chuck is working. We're just really passionately getting back into our lives. And we're living for today without giving a care to tomorrow. We're just like, how can I make the world better by being a naturopathic doctor and helping people live healthy life? You don't have to be rich, So I'm part of that process for all of us is we have to be sober. We have to have. There's a certain sobriety coming to our work at this time. With the temperance card coming in, be careful of wasting your energy fighting with other people. The karma card is heavy winds, anger, fighting, war. I am concerned that Israel and Egypt is very tense right now, and we could see a ceasefire and the Israelis going back in and finishing off Hamas. If Hamas does not agree to hand over the prisoners and leave, which is the only choice they have, we can't rebuild and give Gazans a good life as long as they're being held hostage by these psychopaths, right? So this is a feeling like this coming week or two, a lot of warring could be happening as people fight and battle out their will. Like, is El-Sisi going to open that gate and let all those people out and get away from these crazies, right? You've got 1.7 million Gazans trying to get away from 300,000 Gazans. That's what it's calculated. And they're like banging on the door. We're not Hamas. Get us out of here, right? So you have this kind of patience, but you have this war coming. So because that's the vibe, And Egypt's like, we're worried that the terrorists are going to come in, right? Let us in, let us in. And Israel's like, we'll take care of it. Just let them in, right? So you've got this happening, and that can be an allegory for all of us, right? So same with Ukraine. You have Ukraine and Russia and Ukraine and Russia. And so at this point, I'm not talking about people on cannabis therapy for depression. Um, we're talking about sobriety in people who have a self-destructive habit, like eating too many cookies. I have a problem with sugar, right? So that would be my challenge. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't, I smoked some marijuana after the president lost, after they stole the election. Okay, believe it. But no, my personality, coffee. I actually know that's not true. I think I truly have an addiction to coffee because I probably drink at least 4 cups a day. So what we're talking about is if you engage in a habit or a compulsion that you know is ultimately not good for your health, but you can't stop. So we're not talking about someone on psilocybin microdosing, or no, we're not talking about that's medicine. I'm a naturopath, so I get it. We're talking about this idea of being attached to something that's destructive to you. So sobriety is when you're taking good care of your mental and cognitive health. Knight of Swords in your karma card has me concerned because the Knight of Swords as a karma card would indicate possible risk of fighting or violence. And what's happening internally with us can sometimes be what's happening externally as well. So this is why when I talk about a collective reading, we're going through this, and then you look out at the world, and the world often reflects what's going on with us internally. And I take 2 base cards. I use 12 cards in my Celtic Cross. I teach tarot in the summer. We have a summer tarot class. But so for me, if you were to ask me my opinion on with this type of card juxtaposition, it shows that karmically we have to go through some kind of a fight or violence. As there's some kind of also it could indicate viruses attacking of the wind qi in Chinese medicine, attacking the lungs. We could see outbreaks of bird flu that starts to take off in the coming weeks with this type of energy. Angry wind qi as an illness in Chinese medicine, attacking of the lungs, attacking of the immune system. In terms of bad weather, it can be storms that cause extreme winds. So in terms of predictions for the weather in the coming weeks, we could be seeing, and this is the thing that scares me the most as a remote viewer, is I see these winds. It's even more than the flooding. When I, as a remote viewer, go into trance, I am just carried away by winds 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, blowing off topsoil, driving people away, tipping over cars. I feel that wind, and an increase of wind could be a serious problem with the environment, like more than anything. Where you are at right now, your first house is the Queen of Wands. She's typified as a strong fire sign, Leo's, Aries, Sag, and she holds the wand. We know that wands are territory, and they hold on to one's territory, and they have to do with that yang symbol. It's a phallic symbol. Uh, I like it. It's also the time of spring. You can see the little spring coming off of her rod. Some people believe that the gypsy partly inspired this drawing. The gypsy stands on their board and does their flamenco dancing on a board that's often no bigger than a few feet by a few feet. And the statement is, I may not have much, but this board is my space. And so she stands like the gypsy dancing on her space, my space, cha-cha-cha, right? however they do that. Yeah. So the fact that it comes into your first house this week means, and she's the war queen. We are in a time of war where we will fight for our will. So we have this strong sense of fighting for what we want, and then rage. These are war cards and violence cards. And the warning to you at this time is to be cool, to be temperate. You've got a lot of fire and passion coming to you in the coming weeks. You've got a lot of angst, and they're just stay cool. Your crossing card at this time is take care of your health. The one thing that you can do consistently is to take care of yourself. Archangel Raphael, who brings the elixir, the card of health and healing, the messenger of healing is Archangel Raphael. So what they want you to focus on this week is just your own daily habits, how to take care of yourself, cooling waters, particularly if you're coming down with a flu or something like that. And if you're avoid ingesting things that are going to be bad for your health. What is above you? Things are coming to an end. So you've got this card coming in, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles comes to the end of his rope. So something is happening where we're coming to the end of the road here. And what you're sitting in is an opportunity for a new job. So it could be that many of you changed your professions, you retired, or you're ending old careers, because if you're looking at a Celtic cross the way I do, it's action, reaction, as above, so below. As above, what is above? You've come to the end of your rope. What you're sitting in, what you're marinating in, what's in your gut, what's in your heart. A job, employment. Archangel Gabriel stands with the Page of Pentacles. It's often gifts of writing, inspiring writers with the pen. Income, jobs, the coin. Many of you are changing your professions. What's coming in your past placement is Archangel Michael carries the sword which fights against Satan, and he does so by telling the truth. The truth is always the antidote against the adversary, the truth of things. So, your way, what you're trying to achieve in your life is honorable, and it's being supported by truth, a desire for the truth. And what you're heading into is fighting and conflict. So if you're an activist, if you're a civil rights activist, if you're fighting for peace, whatever you're doing, you think about it in terms of I see all this conflict, the cards are the cards. We are getting closer to conflict, and it's going to be interesting to see Zelinsky's cards today, because I'm concerned that he's going to be defeated, because things do not look good, right? So the attack in Kursk, I know that Joel is up on this stuff. Joel can help us with all of that. But this fighting in the opposition, God, like everybody's fighting. What can we do to not be consumed by this? Be clean and sober, and just you look, the bottom line is these cards would indicate that you're a truth teller. And because you're a truth teller, many of you are changing jobs, you're truth tellers, that's causing conflict in your life. The truth leads to conflict. Again, if you look at it as action, reaction, as above, so below, action, reaction, also fifth and sixth house. The fifth house, the truth comes, leads to conflict. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Your immediate environment at those times, take the weapon. See, it's all war imagery. Take the weapons of war away from your enemy. In plainer words, the way that Democrats win, the way that we win is we become masters, we tell the truth, We check our data so that what we say is irrefutable, and we keep telling the truth over and over and over again. Archangel Michael comes in and leads with the conflict. Knight of Swords also is the warring Michael. Knight of Swords is Archangel Michael grown up and ready to do battle. That's another way that people have interpreted the Knight of Swords, that sometimes Michael has to fight. You know, when you think about the archetype of Michael, Michael is a lot like Arjun. Arjun didn't want to fight, right? If you're looking at the God of Davida, he didn't want to go and fight. He had no choice. Sometimes you're in a situation where you have to fight. And for him, it's fighting against the devil, fighting against those forces that lie in order to cheat, or who hide behind lies in order to do bad things, or twist the truth in order to do bad things. So when we think about the adversary, the Satan from a Jewish perspective can be something that benefits you, because it is the struggle. And by engaging in the struggle, we actually can become masters of ourselves. The opposition, lovers. So there is an opportunity here for all of us to have some bipartisan cooperation. How? When you have something that is of value to your opponent, then you have leverage. And so the advice also for Democrats is to have things that we can leverage. And the hopes and the fears for us at this time that we will not be able to let go of the things that we want. You know, an inability to let go. Oh, hi, Steve. Steve Myers is here. Good to see you. And then the final outcome is Six of Pentacles. Justice will be served in your life and in the world. We see the balancing. Interesting. Russia's going to have to leave their military presence, but they're going to leave some of their political. Isn't that what we predicted last time? Well, according to this remote, Russia agrees to pull back. They leave some of their Russian stuff in place in terms of the political stuff, and then they agree to help in the rebuild of Ukraine. But that looks what the feed is coming out to be. But in terms of your personal life, because everything mirrors the macro and the micro mirror each other, whatever's going on in your life, you will see justice. Whatever's going on in your life, you will see justice. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many commitments at this time. Too many subscriptions. Mine, of course, you got to keep. Hopes and fears, the Hierophant, and then the final outcome, you get your wish. As long as you stay true to your ethics and tell the truth in your pursuit of your career or whatever it is you're trying to pursue, then your wishes will be granted. And that is the collective reading for the day, and I hope you enjoyed it. I did not launder the cat. People wanted to know because I was having a reaction to my cat yesterday. I didn't launder it. What I did instead is I just wiped her down because she had. Were you guys here yesterday when my cat attacked me? We started talking about bathing my cat because I have an allergy. And so she literally on the Saturday show, she attacked me. She began attacking me during the show because they started talking. Oh, are you gonna bathe Mila soon? I'm like, oh, bathe Mila, and we started talking about bathing Mila, and then she starts going. But I bought those. Who was the person that recommended the pads? Those work really well. I've been using the pads to just wipe her down. She actually doesn't mind that. She enjoys that because I get behind her ears. And, if I do it too much, she's really a tough bird, that cat. But yeah. All right. Looks like we've gotten the order to blitz away. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. Let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on. We've got 500 beautiful souls having brunch with us. Be sure and say hi to everyone here. What you eating? What you drinking? Where you coming from? And welcome to the table. We only have one rule: be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. And it works pretty darn good. Yes, as Joel mentioned, it is daylight savings time. So, first question coming in from the beautiful Joel Tilson, our floor director, is can we talk a little bit about what's going on with Trump and Musk and the whole, my gosh, what are we looking at? Civil war between the Muskrat. You guys call him Muskrat. We shouldn't call him that. Mr. Musk and Marco Rubio. And I guess the fight was that they tried to cut funding in the State Department, which caused Marco to blow up, that Dodgy was going to go into the State Department. And the response from Marco was, you don't have a clue what it takes to run a State Department. So that was what happened. Let's see how this plays itself out. Civil war. Didn't this happen last time? And then Spicer had to leave. Spicy Spicer. He was fighting with Bannon. Didn't they both get fired in the end? All right. So what is going to happen with Musk and Marco? Ace of Cups. Make friends. So you've got the Ace of Cups coming in. So yeah, Trump is probably would just rather watch Fox, eat his burger. Opposition, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, the security of the State Department, because he's now attached to it, right? Hopes and fears. The King of Swords is going to cut his department. Marco is starting to rebel. Final outcome is Marco will lead a legal action against Musk if he keeps it up. Against the will of the president. It's going to the courts because he will prove that it threatens a U.S. security. Marco will. And if he has to take it to the courts, he will. So, yeah, wow. This is looking pretty cool. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find out. So we have petulant Elon Musk trying to be all nice, Ace of Cups, and the Empress. But look at how much stuff I'm finding, the treasure trove that ever overflows, the State Department response. Marco wants to investigate Dodgy to find out the truth because he thinks he's full of shit, basically. You can see the Three of Pentacles in the opposition, which would be Marco, which is to run some kind of blueprint, or it could be, I also look at it as an investigation. So, Marco, what do you do over there at Dodgy? Well, we uncovered billions. You did you? I'd like to see that data. No, bring it to me. Bring it to the State Department, because I'm hearing something different and you're threatening to cut. You don't know anything about the State Department or what we do. I want to. So with the Three of Pentacles moving in as the opposition to Elon Musk, ripping through the papers. No, they want to know what the hell you're really doing. And we don't trust you. And furthermore, we want to start looking. I want to audit Dodgy. This is what we're getting from Rubio. And if I find anything dodgy, I'm taking you to court. I'm handing everything over to the courts. Final outcome is something's dodgy. Marco Rubio doesn't trust him, and they're going to run an investigation on Dodgy. You guys want to talk about it? How do you feel about what the remote views are saying? I'm actually really pretty glad this is happening, but do you guys want to talk about this? Is anybody surprised that eventually this kind of civil war would start to take place? Yep. Okay, so we're moving on, and the next question has to do with government shutdown. Of course, we're looking at high risk of government shutdowns between now and May, if you're looking at just following the trajectory of the energy. Let's go in and take a look at government shutdowns. Tower. A major crash is coming, both to the government and to the stock market. As I had said, the energy, when I follow the trajectory of the stock market as a remote viewer, an HCRV practitioner, and I felt a dip on February 19th. I feel this will get worse. I don't think I would feel comfortable being in the market at this, until things stabilize. So, in terms of odds for a government shutdown, it looks like it's close to 100% we will see a government shutdown, because the tower indicates some kind of a conflict coming in. The opposition would be Four of Wands. So sometime around April, we're looking at some kind of a conflict that could be leading to problems. Two of Swords would indicate a stalemate or a concern about a stalemate. And the final outcome is the courts coming in. I feel something is going to happen. She's the Queen of Truth, the Queen of Swords. The sword, she often brings the law. People can't work together. That's basically what Marco Rubio is saying, is that it's an impossible situation. The cabinet can't get any work done. And we can't work together. That's what Marco Rubio is saying. So let's see how this plays itself out. Government shutdown. Truth comes out. It's the truth of what Dodgy was doing. So the Republicans are going to expose Dodgy. So there's anti-Dodgy Republicans that, like Marco Rubio, that are going to run an investigation, an audit. They want to know what the hell's going on, because that Three of Pentacles came. They want to go, what the hell is this? The Architect's card, right? They're looking at the architect. They're looking at the structure, the bones of Dodgy, right? So, and then you have this government shutdown risk when the truth comes out, and then people trying to avoid, you've got that Two of Cups coming in over April. My God, these cards are fascinating. The hope and the fears, Nine of Wands. People are in trouble. God, get it together. Final outcome, the thief attempts to flee. It's all hit. Oh, there's courts coming in and crazy coming in, and it's all coming to a head in April. And oh my God, we found out so much good information. And it looks like the Republicans are running an audit on Dodgy because they don't believe anything that comes out of Elon Musk's mouth. And that the head person running the show is going to be Marco Rubio. And they are going to do everything in their power to get Elon out of there, and they may succeed. Till then, though, we're looking at a crash, a possible crash of the market, could be extending well into April. And yeah, those are crazy cards. So yes, there is a high risk of government shutdown for that reason. Cynthia's in Longmont. She says it's beautiful weather there. Very nice. Okay, next question coming in from Joel. What does Trump, from Zelinsky to restart the aid to Ukraine, what do we have to do to get aid going back in Ukraine? Wouldn't we like to know? Wouldn't we like to know? We like peace. I'll bring this a little closer there. Oh my God, I don't know why it was so far away. Yes, we like peace, but sometimes you gotta fight for what you need. Did everybody enjoy watching SNL last night? It was funny. Showed Marco Rubio and Elon Musk fighting, arguing. Hi, Tony. That's okay, Tony. Okay, let's see here. What was it? What are we looking at? Let me look at my question again. Oh, what does Trump and Trump and Zelinsky? Financial, what's in it for me financially? Taking money from the earth. It's the raw minerals. Screw you. You're not going to help me financially. The opposition, the sun coming out. So basically, it's like, pay us, give us something to help. You want to help us, we want your resources. So it's either we're going to get your resources or Russia is. You got to pay for this, honey. How you get? He's treating Zelinsky like a trafficked 12-year-old. Honey, you need to pay for all of this. How are you going to pay for all this? How are you going to pay for all this aid we've given you? What you going to do for us? Hopes and fears the sobriety. So he's treating him like a trafficked child prostitute. That's just been invaded. Ace of Cups. So work it, girl. That's what he's saying to Zelinsky. I want your stuff, and then I'll help you. It's a really it is who Trump is, isn't it? Right? It's a very sick way of, I'll help you if I get money. It's really pretty sick. Yeah. All right, Joel Tilson. Bernie Sanders town hall are raising hell against Trump. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. Let's see what happens with that. And we sent good prayers to everybody. That was nice. We got everybody's prayers out. Somebody was dragged from a town hall in Idaho. Oh, goodness. I didn't know anything about that. Let me see where I was at. Oh, good. Joel Tilson says Ukraine has 1 million active duty. That's good. I didn't know that. All right, I've got to find out where I am right now. Monroe Doctrine used to help Venezuela and replace Maduro. Wouldn't we have? Doesn't Trump support Maduro? I mean, don't they? Are they backing Maduro? Who knows? Okay, let's find out what's going on with Venezuela, and Maduro. It's over. The end. There's Maduro. Hopes and fears, the confusion. It's a new man coming. He stole that election. So basically what they're saying is that Maduro will be replaced. So how they do it, I don't know. But the fact that the King of Pentacles is moving in would be an indication that probably, yeah. Yes, things will settle down in Canada because, I don't know what the hell. It was interesting when I went into the remote and I saw Canada taking out a lawsuit against the United States headed by Trudeau. I remember thinking when I was looking at the energy of that, like, I'm going to friggin' sue you. I was thinking, well, of course, that's exactly what you would do. And then this idea that we can do whatever we like, that we can do what we want with trade, that we can tell our trade partners to screw off, that we can break our trade agreements, that we're not going to get sued, this kiss off attitude. And it just doesn't work. People are not going to put up with that. There's no reason. All right. Water on the knee. You could, or you could do the hot sand treatment, which is what the Bedouin do. And that's where they go out to the sand and they bury the person up in hot sand, and then the hot sand pulls the water from the edema. So you could do a hot sand treatment. Or clay. You could get some clay and do it. That would be how indigenous peoples treat it in the Middle East. Yeah, clay, like Dead Sea clay, or hot sand. Just being the Bedouins, they just bury you in hot sand when you go to like the saunas and things, and it's like this white sand, and you're just like, you start cooking. Are you hot yet? I'm pretty dang hot. It's getting hot. And then you come off, and then they rinse you with ice water, and yeah, lose about 5 pounds that way. All right. Hamas is holding civilians hostages as human shields. That's right. And thank God they got the women out. Thank God. Let's take a look. Hostages as human shields. Let's see what's going on with Hamas. The ceasefire, and the only bargaining chip they have is those hostages. Okay, Hamas, Gaza, what's going to happen? Foolish behavior. So you have some in Hamas and some leadership saying October 7th was a mistake. We should never have done it. So you have this energy in Hamas of foolishness. The opposition is confident. So there's this confidence beginning to grow, the opposition to Hamas. So that would be the United States, Israel. I know we're engaged in talks with Hamas. Hopes and fears, confusion. We have to lure them. Strength. Hamas is strong. The opposition is strong too. New leadership for Hamas. Yeah, we win. We got the world. Hopes and fears. Strength is with Israel, the Lion of Judah. We win. Economic incentive, the green economy. Well, they're talking about making the desert bloom again. You know, if you expand the amount of space for Gaza, because they didn't have enough land. I mean, the truth of the matter is the Israelis are advocating more for the Gazans than Hamas is. If you give them that land, isn't even being used south of Rafah. It's just all this beautiful land that could be turned. We could turn the desert green, and then they would keep Gaza. The Gazans would keep Gaza, and they would also get North Sinai. So you double. We want to give them more land, and then if you start oasis programs where there's shared land in the armistice line, that also. So you've basically doubled the amount of space for the Gazans, and that dramatically reduces terrorist risks because people don't feel so damn crowded. That's the first thing. And it's a great financial opportunity for Egypt because if they invested in Gaza in positive ways, we're talking about post-Hamas, post-Islamic Jihad, people that are willing to work with Egypt and Israel would stay and rebuild the country. You could have a very prosperous, happy group of people, Gazans, Israelis, Egyptians, if it was done right. But there's no future for Hamas. I see a financial incentive gets Hamas to leave. But they will work the land. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, let's save the aquifer. That's the other thing. If you look at near Shalom Karam, there's an aquifer, and that's being contaminated. Just letting the water be just contaminated. They should be working together to create a beautiful world for each other. But so the answer is yes, it will be achieved. It will happen. Seven of Pentacles. They will make their money on the new tourism, and the new green economy is the future of Gaza. They're going to put in a new port so that they get day cruises that land in the Oasis section, which is the armistice line, which is neither Gaza or Israel. That's where the port will go. And then people can visit the Israel side. They can visit the Gaza side from the port. And then it pours money into the economy. There's a lot of ideas like that floating around. So, yeah, once they get rid of the terrorists and start working as a team, we could make Gaza a beautiful place for the Gazan people, and they'd still be able to have control over it. It doesn't have to be, the bad people have to go. That's right. Bad people don't get to stay. They get to go back to Iran or wherever they came from. Yemen. All right. Khomeini rejects the talks with Trump. Ooh, yeah. What's going to happen there? Let's take a look. Khomeini rejects talks with Trump. Well, we know what the 5 phases are, right? So the 5th phase is that it inevitably, he dies, right? And his VP is a moderate. So it's on its last legs, right? Khomeini, lovers. The guy really doesn't have a choice, does he? All of his friends have been assassinated. Mastery is his enemies are masters. We have time. We are Israeli to sit around and master things. Yes. So he's got to talk, and his enemies are the masters. His hopes and fears, War King. The Knight of Swords declares war. Yes. He's the Mars King, fighting. And the final outcome, the new green economy. So it's about the desert blooming again. He wants a piece of the Abraham Accords. Yes, I think the future is that it's the same as Gaza, 7 of Pentacles. You can see. So the future is the new green economy. It's always, look, you guys have been with me a long time. It always ends up with the 7 of Pentacles. The future is always the 7 of Pentacles. To harvest from the earth, it's also one's retirement. You invest and you get back, but it can also literally be an agriculture card. To harvest profits from the earth, agriculture, trade. I call it the new green economy, because the more you take care of Gaia, the more profitable you will become. Yeah. Okay, so that was fun. We hung out for close to an hour and 20 minutes. Hopefully I got to most people's questions. Did you guys have a good time? Well, thank you if you decided to donate any money to the charity. We did run a charity today to try and help Ukraine. We are still raising money for Ukraine. Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody who has been here today. I think we had 581. What? Beautiful, beautiful. That's a lovely number. Yes, I like that. 584, even better. Okay. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can book me through Booksy. The channel description has my information. Or you can just Google Whimsy Anderson, and then Booksy comes up. And anyway, it's very easy to book with me, and then I call you on the phone. All right. So if you need to see me, you can do that through Booksy. If you have a quick question, only 5-minute question, you can do that through Wizio. And then I send you a pre-taped and mail it. Okay, that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye. Remote viewing classes are on Friday nights at 6 p.m. for members and certification if you're on the Elders and Empaths level. We're on class 4 this Friday if you want to join us. Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.